that relationship really isn't working for you these days. Things have been getting worse over time, and now you truly believe that you are in a toxic relationship. It's definitely a tough position to be in, but there is something you can do to create a more positive style of interaction. In this video, I'll explain 4 steps that you can take to turn toxic conversations into safer conversations. So what exactly is a toxic relationship? It's one in which nobody feels safe and communication has become strained and dysfunctional. Once you've reached this stage, it can seem difficult to repair the damage, but it is possible if you focus on one thing: building psychological safety. In other words, finding ways to support the other person rather than conflict with them. In Difficult People Made Easy, I describe 4 key steps you can use to do this. You need to apply each of these steps repeatedly over time, especially if your relationship has deteriorated badly. However, remaining consistent and applying the 4 steps continuously will build a better, healthier, and less strained relationship. So how do you do it? Well, step 1 is starting the conversation on a positive note. Step 2 is asking about the other person's perspective. Step 3 is framing your own perspective. And step 4 is exploring options together. It's important that you use the 4 steps in this sequence. As a process, it's designed to build rapport rather than to build your argument. So let's look at each step in a little bit more detail. When you start the conversation on a positive note, you're keeping things non-inflammatory and neutral. In other words, you're being very careful to use language which doesn't imply that the other person is wrong or bad or incorrect. You're simply raising an issue in a calm and clear way. The key to success is using flame-proof or neutral words. Once you've done this, you can move really quickly into step 2, which is about asking about the other person's perspective. And you need to spend time on this stage, really focusing and asking good diagnostic questions, showing that you're listening by using reflective statements, and following up, of course, with probing questions. So the sequence you need to use during step 2 is to ask and listen, and then ask again. And take your time so that the other person feels heard. And the reason for doing this is it will open them up to listening to you when you move on to step 3, which is framing your own perspective. Aim to keep this part of the process brief, friendly, and neutral. And the best way to do this is to use the sentence structure, I see it this way because. This keeps you focused on facts and appropriate self-disclosure rather than attacking, shaming, or blaming the other person. In other words, it increases the chances that the other person is going to focus and listen on what you have to say. And finally, you move on to exploring options together, but be careful. Do not try to solve everything at once. Tackle bigger, longer-term problems in small and manageable pieces. Remember, to create a safe relationship after you've deteriorated into toxicity does take time and repetition. So break the problem down into much smaller pieces and celebrate your wins as you find solutions to small issues. Build the relationship of trust and rapport over time so that then you can tackle the bigger situations later. So there you have it. 4 steps that you can use to turn toxic conversations into safe conversations. For more information about these safe techniques, enroll in my online program, Difficult People Made Easy. I look forward to seeing you there.